Hey there, my name is Jim Liu. I'm the CEO of SEO Vendor. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 yet of our series on predictive SEO and AI analysis, you may want to watch that first before watching this third and final part. The last part of our conversation, when I discussed about the AI technology, we were talking about how Google's algorithm can change over time. But what happens is that when Google's algorithm changes, then ultimately what it's doing is it's affecting the rankings. I mean, nothing else really matters. Google could change anything, anytime, all day long. But at the end of the day, what really matters to the end user and also to SEO analysts is exactly what is going on with the rankings. And so if we think about it that way, if rankings really are all there is to it, then we can look at that as sort of the end point. And if you know the end point is what's relevant, then what you can do in an AI system is that you can take these endpoints and say, what's going to really matter in SEO is going to be, say, for example, the top 10 sites and what kind of factors are really influencing those sites that are on the first page of Google. And then you can go back and revisit those factors. And let's say if a particular factor isn't there and it's just not accounted for today. Well, in an AI system, if you have 60 factors, it's not that difficult to just add 61 factors into the system. Or if you happen to know tomorrow that there's another 10, then go ahead and add another 10 factors into your system so that it takes those into consideration. Okay, so here at SEO Vendor, what we have done is that we have about, I think it's somewhere around 40, 50 factors currently programmed into the system, taking into account the various on-page and off-page factors that generally matter to SEO. Of course, it's not all-encompassing, so there are still things that we are continuing to develop, continuing to work on as new factors get introduced to Google or as systems get more complicated and there's just more things to need to take into consideration, then these can all be added into the system to be accounted for. So in summary, I've talked a lot about AI and predictive SEO and how all these systems can come together to really formulate what is going to be a very different future for SEO. Because as you can tell, the world of SEO is going to be kind of split into either you have the right tools and technology in place, or you are basically still analyzing everything through a manual process. And it's not just about just the tools that you have on hand that are readily available on the market, but it's also sometimes these systems that agencies have to think about whether they're working in partnership or they have to develop on their own in order to have something that they believe is working for their whole process. And essentially that's what we did, is that our tool we use in-house. We don't license our tool to anybody like a third-party company. It's basically only for member agencies that are in partner with us are able to take advantage of that. And essentially it's a tool that it's being used in-house by our own SEO analyst, and it's made and designed basically just for them to use. There are some things that we have learned in the last 4 years that I think may also be helpful for you if you're thinking about developing a similar system for your agency, or if you just wanted to know exactly what are sort of some of the pitfalls and ideas that have come up over the years. One is that, as you have already seen from the results when we compared 500 keywords, AI can allow for faster, more accurate SEO analysis. But one of the caveats is that it has to be tweaked, it has to be tuned so that the system can work correctly, it can work accurately. And that involves a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing in order to get there. So if you do develop any kind of AI tool and you're training that particular system, you got to make sure that it has gone through plenty of data. You want to give it plenty of samples, compare it against historical rankings in order to really see, does your system stand up to long-term analysis, long-term usage. The other factor is that the more competitive data, the more rankings factor that you're able to introduce to the system, the better the results are going to be. And that's simply because AI is so much data based. It's so data hungry. The more information that you can feed it, the more information that you can provide in different factors of information, the more input variables that you have, the better or more accurate that output is going to be. The other thing to also take note of is that an AI system can be very complicated to set up. It may take years just to get a system like this set up and tweak and tune completely. But once it is set up, once it is in place, then it's pretty much automated. The key is to take the time to really develop and have the best system possible, and then still continue to enhance it over time. But basically, once you have an AI system like this set up, then the maintenance on it is actually very low. So in the beginning, when we had talked about how this is about branch prediction and it's about decision making, what the AI system is hopefully able to help you with is it's able to then help you reach your decision faster and more accurately, so that when you pick that path and you say, all right, you know what, I got to make a decision today, and perhaps it's 50-50 even, and you're just thinking of it all on your own. Hopefully an AI system can provide you a score or some type of indication that you should head in one direction or the other. And if it allows you to do at least a minimum of that, then that's a helpful AI system. It doesn't even have to be that complicated, but basically if it pushes you over the edge in one way or another in an accurate way, then you at least have a start, and you at least have a system that's going to benefit you in ways that you currently don't have. The other factor is that this is a way for agencies to really scale, and as we talked about earlier, with the way that Google's algorithm is and how complicated it's gotten over the years, if you're a freelancer or if you have a small team, basically there's only so many projects that you can take on before you really have to expand on that team, and then there's a lot of scalability issues that you have to be concerned about there. There's also an increase in cost, whether that's going to really lower your profit margin or not. And that's one of the reasons why at SEO Vendor we had decided to go about this problem in a more technology-oriented manner, so that we can, through technology, help to, again, reduce our costs, reduce the amount of time that's necessary to analyze a project without sacrificing the quality of that analysis. And ultimately, like we said in the beginning, if you want a way to stay on top of Google algorithm changes, then a set of AI tools or a set of AI analysis is really something to think about. So, in conclusion, if we wanted to just take a moment to talk about putting predictive SEO to work, putting AI systems into motion, there's something that you can do today, which was something I talked about earlier, about regression analysis. You can set that up so that you can import the data, even if you don't have the right tools. You can import your rankings data into Excel, create a graph, and run the regression analysis right then and there. It takes less than 5 minutes to run it, and you can check to see how rankings are going to be possibly doing next month, the next 3 months, the next 6 months, as long as the conditions in which you're working under are more or less the same, that your strategy and what you're doing aren't changing too much. And so that means that if you're sticking to a particular core set of things that you do every month, and you continue to do those things, you don't have much outside changes like dramatic rankings changes or big algorithm updates, then that could be a reliable indicator for you to at least understand and see what direction you're headed in. Chances are directions always have momentum, so perhaps even something that you had done this month could be affecting what's happening next month or from prior months. And just remember that AI is nothing to be afraid of, or you don't have to think about AI as being something super complicated. It's just like the introduction of computers. When we first had computers, people were kind of afraid of what computers are or what they were going to do. But look at it today, computers are everywhere. So AI, you just got to think of AI as much like a computer. It's a general purpose machine, and AI could be used for all kinds of different reasons, and it's very much general purpose. So if you think of it that way, then hopefully that can help you to put AI to use for your agency. Okay, so I thank you very much, and I hope to see you at our next discussion. Okay, if you like this video, Go ahead and subscribe and like, and we will see you soon.